Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Dreya with Platinum Black Services. Today, I want to answer some of the questions that I haven't been able to answer directly for some of you guys. I have been receiving a lot of questions about the EV charging station business based off of the last two videos I've posted. So if you are an EV newbie and you do not know where to start, stay tuned. I want to provide a good checklist or system to follow to help you basically from A to Z get started and know when it's time to start reaching out to people and kind of moving forward with that process. I myself am an EV newbie, so I'm doing a lot of research and learning as much as possible. No, I'm not working in the space right now. I am just in that investigative research phase, which is always good because you want to obtain as much information as possible before you make a major costly, expensive decision. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started. First, I want to give a quick overview and disclaimer. I am not a consultant. I appreciate that everyone has found the information from the prior videos very valuable and helpful. However, I am not a consultant. I do not offer consulting services. I just research interesting topics and I present them and hope that for those who need that information, it helps them. I'm the researcher and then I'm the provider of information. If I ever do decide to provide consultation services, I'll definitely say it and provide more information in the description. But right now, I am not a consultant. No services are offered at this time. Sorry. Another thing, please do your own research and due diligence. Same as what I'm doing right now. I am intensely researching the EV space. And for those who, are ready to jump into speaking to someone and buying consulting services, before you do that, and I'm going to go through that list of steps to take prior to even calling or asking for a consultant, you definitely want to do your own research. And it's so easy. Just do it. It saves you a lot of time and a lot of headache and frustration. And at least you'll have a good feeling of where you want to start. And third, you want to prepare and create a plan. And I'll go over that and provide some good resources to help you with that plan part. It prevents you from wasting your time and anyone else's time. That's another thing. You don't want to start making phone calls, reaching out to people, asking tons of questions or sounding as if you're ready to make a move, at least to that person. If you're calling an EV supplier, for example, you don't want to starting conversations and possibly leading them on, or maybe they might have the impression that you're ready to move forward in certain areas and all you're doing is just collecting information. You want to save yourself some time and don't waste someone else's time if all you're doing is just the basics or just trying to gather information, because technically by the time you're at the point of being ready to reach a supplier or a consultant, they're ready to move. They're not in that beginning phase, that learning phase. They know what they know. They're experts, and their job is, of course, to, build their business, get the sale, things like that. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Next, if you have missed the two prior videos I posted, please go back and check them out first before you come here, or just finish watching this video and make sure you go back to watch the other two videos. The first video I posted was 6 tips on starting an EV charging station business, which basically gives you that foundation of understanding of what an EV charging business station is and what is involved with setting that up. The next video is 19 EV suppliers and installers for your EV charging station business. By the time you're ready to make that move and actually start building your charging station, you want to reach out to some of these people. It doesn't have to be them, but I did a lot of research to at least provide enough to where you can contact a few individuals or a few companies and, do your pricing comparison, get some more information and actually start making that move to building your business, your EV station business. So number one, you want to learn as much as you can first. As I mentioned before, learn, study, get as much information as possible, study everything from top to bottom. You are entering a new space. A lot of people are new to this space and industry, and there are some who have already been working and thriving in this business. But for you, since this is a business move, you definitely want to learn as much as possible, be knowledgeable. And that means to search industry news, get as much information as possible, Google as much as possible. It is free. Get as much free information as you can. That's where I am at right now. I'm just learning as much as possible, reading tons of articles, going to different websites that are dedicated to the space specifically, such as clean energy, things like that. Okay. You also want to find free webinars and courses online or in person. There are, and again, that's Googling, trying to find that those free sites that provide that information. There are some, you'll be surprised. There could be some, if it's in person, there might be some local um, companies that are in that space, maybe manufacturers, something of that nature. But definitely find out what's out there for free before you start spending money, because um, I believe once you're ready to start spending money, that means you have committed, you have made that commitment, and you're ready. You're definitely ready to dive in and invest more money. But before you do that, just learn as much as you can, because there might be a chance that you might not want to do it. Therefore, you haven't spent, a ton of money out of pocket just yet. And third, you could start buying some online courses and training programs that are credible and legitimate. First, make sure that these courses are credible and legitimate. And that's just basically um, seeing if you can find customer reviews, see if other people have taken those courses and have left comments, positive comments or negative. If it's negative, of course, not to put your money towards that, but at least do your research to find out first before you spend your money, because some of these training programs can be costly. It can be a couple $100s, it could be a couple $1,000. I don't know. One site that I found that is actually offering some, different online courses is udemy.com. So you can just go on that website and go through a list of, courses specifically for EV charging stations. And what's nice about Udemy.com is they actually do have stats and information and comments and reviews, so that you can see if that class is worth taking, if people were really happy, if they've learned a lot, if they're satisfied with the course that they've taken, and if they recommend it. All right, number two, as soon as you have a good feeling, a good understanding, foundation of what the EV charging station business is like and what's all involved, you want to create a business plan. Now, I will not go through how to create a business plan. That would be too long for this video, but to help you with that, I provided some great free and a few probably fee-based resources that will help you create that business plan, because that is vital. You want to have that in place before you actually start calling um, suppliers and things of that nature to move forward and get started with your business. A good resource if you're in the US, I'm in the US, so I'm sorry I can't provide any other resources outside of that. So I'm hoping that you can find your own resources that could provide that service to you. First is the www.sba.gov, which is the Small Business Administration, and they provide a lot of free resources on how to create a business plan. They also offer some example or templates of examples of how a business plan should be written. And I think you might be able to contact someone from there to gather more information, speak to them directly. They can help guide you in writing your business plan or provide even more research, not research, but resources as you are writing your plan. Another site you can go to is score.org. They're also located in the United States. And what they offer, which is really great, are free local mentors within the state that you live in. If you go to their website, there is a drop down box you can select put in your information. I can't remember if it's your zip code or state, but one of those two, and it will search and find a score location or mentor that is close to you that you'll be able to reach out to and contact, and see if you can receive more personal one-on-one assistance in creating your business plan. And you can't beat that because it is free. Another site I mentioned again before, udemy.com, they also offer online courses on how to start or create a business plan. Now, here you do have to pay a fee. There's no standard rate or fee because it's basically that actual individual who has hosted their own course to sell. So fees can range from any price, maybe $100, maybe a couple $100. It all depends. So go to the site, type in business plan or how to write a business plan. You'll see a list of various teachers that are teaching that course and their rates. And again, you can also look at customer or student reviews to see if it's worth it to take their course or not. They'll let you know if it was a good course, it helped them or not, things like that. And last, oh, I'm sorry, fourth would be you could hire a business writing consultant from either LinkedIn or Upwork.com. Again, fees are involved. There's no standard rate or fee, so it just depends on that individual business writing consultant that you reach out to. LinkedIn is great because, of course, LinkedIn is already bringing together people from different backgrounds, career wise, things like that, different expert level, experience level, things like that. So you can always read like their resume. Usually they'll post a resume or a short summary of themselves, the things that they have done and accomplished. That's always great to know because then it can help you decide if that person could possibly meet your needs or not. I think the same thing with Upwork. It's not necessarily a resume, but I do believe they list the things that they offer, their experience, their background, so you can kind of get to know who they are and again, services that they offer and how they could possibly help you with, your business plan, your goals, your objectives. Now, last, as part of writing a business plan, you always want to have a drafted NDA or non-disclosure agreement and make sure you use it when your business plan is done. And I say that because with the next steps, anybody that you share your business plan with, you want to make sure they sign off on that agreement because that way it can help protect you in your business plan and no one else is looking to steal your idea or use it. And if so, you have that agreement that they're not supposed to. And if you need to, you can take them to court. So protect yourself in the beginning phase because right now it's all an idea. And, unfortunately, we live in today's world where people do steal ideas, unfortunately. Number three, you want to register your business and obtain funding/capital. This is where it should have already been outlined in your business plan. So this should not be new as far as how you want to register your business and how you want to obtain the funding to get started. Make sure you register your business either as an LLC or corporation. Now, there are some caveats to either going LLC or corporation. Two in particular that might make you want to sway more towards corporation, and I'll go over that. But just make sure that you have discussed it with, a mentor if you decided to go with someone at SCORE to help you or whoever. Make sure that you have, done your research to know which business structure is the best for you. Review your credit score and history and clean up any issues. That is so important when you start a business, especially like this, because I'll be honest, this is expensive. This is a very cost heavy, cost driven business to start. And of course, the goal is to make a lot of money. But in the beginning, it's expensive. And with that being said, you might have to take out loans. And in order to take out loans, your credit has to be good. You have to have a good credit score and you have to have a good credit history. So make sure you're, going over that, reviewing your personal credit and Clean it up if you need to. Next, you want to look over personal savings, investments, and any spare assets for availability. You just want to know how liquid you can be, or liquid you are. If there was something you needed to purchase right away, do you have access to enough cash to do it immediately? Um, you might have some, you might not have a lot of cash, but you might have some things you can sell and turn into cash. So just think about that. Fourth, seek microloans, SBA loans. Again, that's Small Business Administration, an organization located in the US. Crowdfunding, maybe GoFundMe or something like that. Government grants. There are a lot of grants out right now. As I mentioned in a couple of the videos before, there are a lot of opportunities that the government is willing to help with, and it will help offset some of these costs. Angel investors and or venture capitalist funding. So these are different resources that you can start looking into to obtain enough funding and capital for your business. Now, I want to bring up there are two challenges when seeking investor funding and capital as an LLC compared to being a corporation. So, number one, investors often don't want to complicate their personal tax situation by becoming a member of an entity such as an LLC that is taxed as a partnership, because as a partner, they'll be taxed on the entity's income, even in years when no cash is distributed to them personally. So, that is a disadvantage when you're looking for funding from outside investors and your business is registered as an LLC. Second challenge is some investors are unable to invest in pass through companies such as LLCs because their funding may include tax exempt partners who aren't allowed to receive active trade or business income due to their tax exempt status. Okay, so again, that's another challenge that can be sticky when you're searching for capital investor funding as an LLC, because basically certain investors who already have the tax exempt status are not able to receive um, income. And that's basically what LLCs are about, that pass through income. So that gets a little sticky, and they tend to frown on that, and they don't, they pass on becoming an investor. But as a corporation, if you're registered as a corporation, that's not a problem. Number four, find an experienced EV consultant and business attorney with industry knowledge. So you should be at this point now where you're ready to start contacting people who can make things happen. They can push things forward because you already have your business plan created. You've searched ways to get funding and capital. Now it's time to start contacting the people that can start moving the chess pieces on the board. So interview at least 3 to 5 consultants and attorneys each. Find the best fit for your needs. You want to work with someone who you know will have your best interests, who will work hard for you. So you want to interview a couple of people, get a feel for how they are. What is the chemistry between you guys? Can you see a working relationship, and can you see a successful working relationship at that? B, ask lots of questions about their background, experience, problem solving skills, because you're going to run into some situations where problems need to be solved, and you want to know, can they handle it? Can they go the distance to make sure that when something comes up, can they solve that problem and help you? Because that's what you're paying them for. Um, and the type of services they offer. So you want to know the full scope of what they can do for you. You don't want to walk in blindly just because they say, oh, I'm an EV consultant. Okay, what all do you do as an EV consultant? What don't you do as an EV consultant? That's another question. Not only what they do, what they can do, what they're able to do, but what is it that they do not do, what they can't do for you. And three, request at least 3 references of their references and contact them for their feedback regarding regarding the services they receive. So it's always good if they're willing to, that's questionable. If they're not willing to give you references, that might mean they're not the one for you. But if they're willing to share a reference or two or three, hopefully three, you want to call them and say, hey, I've met with so and so who is an EV consultant, and they said that you have worked, the two of you have worked together, and you have worked together very well. Can you give me a little bit of your feedback on how you were able to work with them? Were they easy to work with? Did they help you? Did you feel that there were some situations where they were difficult to work with? What couldn't they help you with? So on and so forth. Come up with a list of questions so that you can, again, get a better feeling or feel for that person if you were to hire them, so you'll know if it's a good fit. Again, it's all about making sure you have the right players on your team, because you're building this team and your goal is to be successful. You want to win. And last, discuss rates and retainer fees. That's always important because, um, again, this is an expensive field. This is an expensive startup, and you want to, be wide-eyed to what fees and rates you will have to be responsible for, especially if you have investor funds and you're managing, additional money, and you want to make sure that you're spending wisely. It's going to the right resources. If you need help on knowing where to find a business attorney, you might want to try a couple of these resources. These are located in the US. I'm sorry, I don't know about anything outside of the US, but you can try going to the websites for American Bar Association, Find Law, Law Info, and lawyers.com. And those four websites have a search section where you can type in, I think, your zip code or state, maybe a specific name if you've heard of a specific attorney that you would like to contact, and you just need to find them out. You just have their name, but you want to find out where they are. You can look up any kind of filter, I guess, or however it's set up, and try to find a business attorney. And it will not say though that they're knowledgeable in, clean energy or electrical vehicle, anything like that. So that's where you'll have to take that extra step and reach out and contact the office and ask, hey, I'm looking to start an EV charging station business. I'm at this stage where I'm ready to, hire an attorney, but I want to first check out a few to see how, who's a good fit for me and for my business. By chance, do you have this experience, in this industry? If so, or, if so, great. If not, do you know of anyone? That's another thing, because you're really trying to find a unique specialist, someone who has unique skills and knowledge within that industry. Many don't have it. And this is like a new industry, but you want to try to find somebody who has as much information and knowledge as possible, so you can always ask for a reference. Hey, do you know someone who might be good to contact and reach, who has been working within this space? And if so, can I have their name and number, and go from there. Number 5. Now, this is where you want to also contact your suppliers and installers. I have a video on that, about 19 suppliers and installers to contact if you're starting this EV charging station business. So this is where we're at. You want to ask about their products, the services they offer. And this, again, you have your business plan. So you should be feeling very comfortable in knowing what to ask for, what to look for. So remember, reference, use your business plan as a reference that. Um, Inquire about federal and state tax credits, grants, rebates, and other incentives to help offset costs. Now, hopefully, your EV consultant also has information about that, but a lot of times the suppliers and installers will also have that information, because they work so closely with how can I say this? A lot of that information comes to them more readily and available firsthand, because they're the ones that have to go back and forth and, submit the forms for rebates, and or help submit the forms for rebates or whatnot. So you definitely want to ask them as well, because they're a lot more closer to the new things that are out from the government and things like that. Because I think they might, I don't know for sure, but there might be some advantages for them to also, help other people get some of these incentives. So always ask. And C, obtain estimates, quotes to review, assess, and compare for the best opportunity. Okay, so if you found about, let's say 5 suppliers you really like, you may want to start asking for estimates and quotes based off of what you need, from your business plan, how that's laid out, and the specs and the conversations you've had with your EV consultant and also with your supplier. So start asking for quotes and then just start going over, what they provide, what they don't provide, what additional services they might also offer, maintenance, things like that. You really want to start looking at the overall contract or services that they will provide and seeing which is the best fit, which makes the most sense financially, and what will help you reach your main objective to make sure your business is successful. And last but not least, I just want to throw this in there, is learn about EV safety and risks. So we are so excited and we have so much enthusiasm to join this industry because a lot of money and dollars from the government is being thrown into building this infrastructure. However, we also need to keep in mind that electrical vehicles are dangerous. There is some danger to it. I know they're working on, of course, safety and protection for the public, which is great, but also understand what the risks are involved. So just in case something may happen, you know what to do, or you have some knowledge on what to do and who to contact. So I encourage you to go to the National Fire Protection Association, known as SFPA. They provide a lot of information, free resources, webinars, you know, just information overall on electrical vehicle safety because the battery itself, some of you may be aware based on the news, based on articles you might have read, that when these cars are in accidents, unfortunately, they're hard to put out. It can be very lethal, very dangerous, and you want to be concerned about that because something can possibly happen at your EV charging station. You never know. So, just in case, learn about safety, learn about what how this organization can better prepare you as you're stepping into the EV space. And I believe they also have a membership, so that might be something you might want to invest in so that you can stay current on information and guidelines, as well as maybe some things that they are teaching so that you're always in the loop to know about the safety and risks and how to keep yourself and your business protected. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this has helped. Before I go, I just wanted to bring up that I do have an all-in-one corporate formation starter kit. There are 150 documents that will help you start your corporation, any state in the U.S. So just check the description box below and you'll find the state you live in, and you'll be able to purchase and download the forms immediately. Just use code START NOW for $20 off, or you can go directly to www.platinumblackservices.com to find the all-in-one corporate formation starter kit. So thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for another video. Take care.